I imagine he's got both of his Nexus working full-time, now pulling off of this main of his, and Suggy, his main, starting to run dry, so he too will need to look for an expansion, and he has not done so, which could hurt him. You'll see his composition now looking really good, finally a little bit bigger than his opponents, a lot more zealot heavy, so he's no longer going for a harassment army, but an overpowering army. But neither player really has any strong advantage, and this expansion, once it is up and running, with all that excess of probes from the first base, is going to put Sinatra in a very good spot. It does have more robotics facilities for more Colossus, so Suggy is suddenly having the initiative put on him. You see he has a huge supply difference, but most of that supply is in the probes, and I guess these gateway units. So the time is now to push. He is playing off fewer bases, less of an upgrade, doesn't have that forge. You'll see here the forge chrono boosting what I think is level 2 weapons. So Suggy will have the inferior force pretty soon. He's going to need to press out. You see that his scouting is not so good. He has not spotted this. Fortunately, he has been throwing a lot of probes away to try and get a look at his opponent's base, and it is very up to date. Suggy now recognizing he needs to get this expansion. He probably heard about the mineral being depleted, so he's getting ready to throw down a new base of his own. That's a good response, and he will be able to stay in this game even longer, but neither player really willing to push out. Suggy looking like he might have done so for a while there, but he's going to fall back, secure that position. Suggy, meanwhile, is now finally harvesting from that position, throwing down a cannon there to make sure that it is not harassed. And there's that observer. I guess Suggy not having an observer with his arm anymore, which I find very surprising. Yes, he does indeed have no observers, so instead opting to use that single robotics facility on Colossus instead of observers, and that does give Sinatra a superior view of the map. You see he has up-to-date information on both the bases, hasn't spotted this yet, however, but he knows exactly where that army is. Meanwhile, Suggy, afraid to press out, he has no idea where his opponent's force is, no idea how many expansions he's got, instead just macroing up, getting lots of Colossus, lots of gateway units. Finally probably getting those upgrades that he needs. Yes, level 1 ground weapons on the way, level 2 about to finish for Sinatra. And I think he might be about to move out with his force. It looks like he is going to start moving across the map, knows exactly where his opponent's is, and it will be tough for him to get a good, strong position, unfortunately. He isn't spotted. Definitely does not know. Suggy does not know about Sinatra's force, but he is moving out. Both of them have very nice compositions. Sinatra does have the advantage of an extra 2 Colossus, but way behind on the Stalker count. And those Stalkers can blink in and strike Colossus so fast. But here is the engagement. Force field going up for both players, and the Colossus just firing away at each other. Sinatra has the inferior position. Huge concave for Suggy, but the force fields are trapping units all over the place. But Suggy looking very strong in this position. He is behind on Colossus. The one thing not going well for him, but that concave really giving him a huge advantage, and Sinatra is forced to retreat into his base. See, his army is rapidly being depleted, but the funnel created by his buildings forces Suggy to retreat. However, the damage is done. You'll see that the units lost have now switched in favor of Sinatra. He is now, in favor of Suggy. Sinatra losing a ton of forces there, and this expansion is now exposed. Suggy's going to try and kill it. That could be a bit risky, though, if Sinatra's reinforcements do cut it off. Suggy is now entirely trapped, and there's no way out for him now. It's really do as much damage as he can before being wiped out, and I think that is a huge mistake, because Sinatra's probably going to win this fight, warping and reinforcing Zealots, trapping all these units in the corner, and a nice big ball for the Colossus just to tear up, and a huge mistake, that position for Suggy. His army is completely destroyed. He does have reinforcing Stalkers, but I think the damage is done. Look at those units lost. You'll see that Suggy losing a huge amount of forces. His army is completely devastated, and the timing from Sinatra is excellent. He is moving out. You'll see that Suggy is advancing, I suspect, to hit his opponent's main quickly to delay this attack, because if this attack comes, he is over and done with. Trying to blink through, but yes, that is just it. Suggy has no forces left, just desperately trying to hit anything, but he is going to be completely overrun in a matter of seconds. Huge mistake getting himself trapped in that corner there with an army that just wasn't that much bigger than his opponent's. And Suggy going to lose his big gold expansion. This expansion is starting to run dry, and when this is down, I don't think there's anything he can do to get back in this game. Sinatra just wiping out all those probes. Now he is, what was 57 workers is, I guess, down to 40 harvesters. There it is. This expansion completely sacked. And Suggy quickly trying to respond, getting another robotics facility, a third robo facility, going to try and mass those Colossus. So many minerals unspent. Meanwhile, Sinatra spending them very well. And Sinatra moving in, going to be able to kill those robotics facilities with impunity. There's just no army to speak of for Suggy. And I guess that is him admitting defeat and wanting to have a Colossus duel. Sinatra inside the base of Suggy. He is going to clean up. Suggy will be eliminated from the Global Gamers Tournament, won't be advancing to the final round of 16. And Sinatra probably feeling pretty pleased with himself. Really cleaned up nicely here. And just Suggy not very pleased about being outmassed by Colossus, but to be fair, he did it too. He just didn't have quite as many, and that was just a huge mistake. So well played by both players in Game 3 of the series. Keep tuning in, guys, on IC Cup TV. You can also follow the tournament on TeamLiquid.net. We got lots of games coming in the future. Definitely over 100 still to be casted, I imagine. So until next time, have a good one. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the exciting conclusion. Game 3 between Inca, the Purple Protoss, and OGS. This is OGS gone, the Blue Terran. We are on Steps of War, a really small, tight map, which is an interesting choice for the final match here. Definitely this map is conducive, especially in Protoss v Terran, to early play, early aggressive play. And Protoss certainly able to outmuscle Terran in small environments, but then again, Reapers, early Reapers, very potent. So we'll see how both players play this game. Once again, do want to thank those sponsors, iFixit, The Handsome Nerd, and Esports United, all generously donating to this tournament and bringing out these big names from around the world. We are seeing a very early probe. There is a pylon already built here, so this is not a probe on the way to the proxy, just a scouting probe. You'll see OGS building a supply depot back in his minerals, protecting from closing gaps to prevent units from getting inside. Another interesting fact about building supply depots in weird spots like here, here, and here is it's actually good for your economy, because often SCVs will try and do stuff like this, mine the back ends of mineral fields instead of front ends, and they have to take the long way around. So if you build raised supply depots, that actually does prevent that. And it looks like this probe is going to retreat. I didn't see what he saw. I guess he caught that caught that barracks. Didn't see the refineries, but he is in retreat. Not really sure why he is bothered to retreat. Inca, meanwhile, playing a very contained build, keeping everything close to his nexus, and getting a very standard build